Hey everyone, and welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast for today. Happy Easter Monday and April Fools. Don't worry, every topic on here is not a prank. It is serious news that is legit. So if you're watching this, don't be scared. I am joined here by James, as always, and today we'll be discussing the weekend's box office, Christopher Nolan getting knighted, the Megalopolis news, Lego and Universal news, and a new game called What's the Plot? The Easter Bunny and Chocolate Edition. So sit back, grab your Easter eggs and crack that open if you want, pour some Baileys in it or just eat it, and let's get straight into it. So James, the weekend box office has just come out. We're not entirely sure if it includes the Easter Monday results. We're not quite sure how it works over there in America. But we do have the initial normal 3-day. So I'm just going to say the top four. So in fourth place we have Kung Fu Panda 4 with 10.2 million. Doom Part 2 in third with 11.1 million. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire in second with 15.7 million. And in first place is obviously Godzilla X Kong The New Empire with an $18 million domestic. Worldwide it made $194 million. And now the MonsterVerse franchise itself has hit 2 billion. So James, with these results, do you see a third Godzilla Kong mashup coming up? And what's your take on the results, obviously?
I don't know what that question is, because I think it's very, very obvious that yes, this MonsterVerse is going to continue. Whether it's, Godzilla vs. Kong 2, Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla Z Kong, I don't know. There will be another Godzilla Kong, Godzilla Y Kong. I'm sure that's the next one if they're continuing the alphabet. But yeah, no, I mean, this one blew all expectations away. I think it was trending towards 50 to 60 million. And I think when we spoke on our review for the film, it was actually looking at around 135 million worldwide opening. So we saw it absolutely, blow past that by a significant margin. I think that's a really positive sign for it. And I think there's plenty of life, despite me not even liking the movie. I think there's plenty of life in this franchise to, at least be commercially viable, for it to actually turn a profit and to be one of those franchises that kind of not immune, but they can find some sort of profit margin in there compared to something where you're seeing like Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible, those kind of long-term franchises start to fall off financially. So, I mean, I'm very, glad that it's done very well. It came extraordinarily close to Doom Part 2, and when the final official figure comes out tomorrow, it could even be ahead of Doom 2, which would be, it'd be mixed feelings. Like, I'm always happy when we get good box office, but I don't want it beating Dune 2. I mean, it just doesn't make sense in my mind. But the second biggest MonsterVerse weekend ever, I think it's very impressive, because we've kind of been writing off this franchise, at least for a while now, like in terms of just being, not really a heavy hitter. And mind you, it's come second towards to the 2014 Godzilla. So that's 10 years ago now. And, with inflation, all that stuff changes. But the fact that it still can't top that one, I think is just, I don't know. I think this is the ceiling of what the MonsterVerse can be. I don't know if there is an audience for these types of movies where it can become that billion-dollar hitter. As for long-term future in terms of what I see for this specific film, I don't think, even though it opened higher than Dune 2 worldwide, which I think was 183 million, and it's beaten it by at least 10 million so far, I think it won't be as high as that movie worldwide, just because I feel like this is one of those movies similar to, Fast and Furious, or Transformers for that sake, where, it opens very high, all the fans go and see it first time, but it's not rewatchable. Once you've seen it, you've seen it. I think it's going to drop off significantly, 60 to 70% next weekend, and it will close out, from there. But I think potentially, if it has some staying power, 200 million is in sight, but I would say around 170 to 180 is probably where I'd be looking at right now. In terms of worldwide, I said 500 to 600 when we did the review before the film came out. I'm going to go a little bit higher and say around 600 to 650. I haven't seen the figures yet for China, and that would ultimately change my projection right now. But all in all, this is good news. I didn't like it. I don't think you liked it as much either. But what are your thoughts on it making, a monstrous amount?
Pun intended. I'm not surprised. I mean, like you said it before, this has become one of those franchises similar to Fast and Furious and Transformers, where it just makes a buttload of money and then it just dies down. So they pretty much funded their next film in like the first couple of weeks. So I was expecting a big number, not quite 194 worldwide or even 80. I was expecting something like 60 or like 130, like you said in the projections as well. So the fact that this has gone even more higher than our expectations, and especially with rotten reviews as well, because that came out before the weekend and people still flocked to the cinemas. So they clearly weren't fazed by the critics' comments or the RT score, so to speak. So, who knows? I mean, the whole franchise has hit $2 billion. So that's a big plus for Warner Brothers, because they've been clamoring for a successful franchise for, it seems like, a decade now.
And they got Dune and the Monsterverse now, Yeah,
like ever since Harry Potter left, like finished, their like main franchise has died. So now that it's nice to see that they've got both Dune and the Monsterverse in here, that's pretty much a lock, guaranteed to be successful. And then DC's DC, we'll see what happens there. So in regards to everything else, it's just the stock standard. They just pretty much made way for this. I'll probably see like what you reckon, 30-35 million second week for Godzilla.
Yeah, I think you're banging on the money around that figure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more towards 30 million at this stage. Yeah, I'd say around something like that. It depends what comes out next weekend, if there is any like competition for it. Nothing that I can see. Monkey Man, perhaps. But do you remember when Godzilla vs. Kong came out? It came out at the start of 2021, and it opened to something like 30 million. And that was during the COVID time, and we're like, holy shit, like this is huge. Because everything had been opened up under 10 million, including stuff like Croods 2, Wonder Woman, all that stuff were not doing business because of COVID. So, I don't know, my mind immediately goes to the point, okay, so if this franchise can be that huge, I wonder what Godzilla vs. Kong would have made without COVID. Perhaps $100 million opening weekend.
I think so too, because the whole reason why people went to those movies was to see an ape versus a radioactive lizard for the first time ever.
Yeah.
So they pretty much they should have done like a Top Gun and like delayed it by a year. I think if they did that, then it would have been mega bucks for them.
Yeah, well, we always talk about Top Gun or Spider-Man No Way Home being like the saviors of the box office, but I honestly do think, and I've said it from the start, Godzilla vs. Kong and what that box office did, I think it just showed that there was still life in cinemas. I'm not saying it saved it, but it definitely helped, and it did. It was a major milestone in terms of getting things back to normal at the box office and the movie industry and whole. So yeah, big franchise.
For sure, yeah. Moving on now to someone that is having probably the best 2024 out of anyone on this planet right now. He just won a Best Director Oscar for his work on Oppenheimer. We're talking about Christopher Nolan. And now news has come out that he is going to receive a knighthood. So those of you that's not unaware on this, that is where they become from Christopher Nolan to Sir Christopher Nolan. And he's getting that title. It is quite a prestigious title as well. And it's not just for the film industry, it's pretty much worldwide, like any industry you can become a Sir. I'm not sure what the criteria is. I'm pretty sure you'd be part of the British colony or British something for to be eligible for it. So not only is Christopher Nolan becoming a Sir, his wife Emma Thomas will also become a Dame, so she'll be Dame Emma Thomas. That's pretty much the same thing as a Sir, but for the female version. So James, favorite director of all time, he's about to get that Sir in front of it. How do you feel?
I don't know, like it's obviously I'm stoked, and the people that are, there's always someone who's against Christopher Nolan at some point along I guess, the course of time, liking Christopher Nolan or hating Christopher Nolan became a cool thing, where it's just like, oh, it's a Nolan fanboy. I don't know if you've heard that term, but I've heard it loads. Like, and it's just, and it always happens when someone becomes really popular. There's always that, you know, they get so much love, but there's also so many people trying to take away from that and being like, some people just they don't like to love the norm. And that's really what Christopher Nolan's become. He's become one of the directors in terms of that name. It's just become a norm in terms of, you know, being associated with, you know, great films. And so some people love to take away from that. So I guess this adds a little bit of a caliber to our arsenal. The people who like Christopher Nolan, we get to say, actually, it's Sir Christopher Nolan.
So it's just more fuel for you to use against Kyan.
No, that's just friendly banter. We agree at heart on how they are separate, different conversation. But I'm extremely happy for him. Christopher Nolan he's a director who I felt was not underappreciated, because a lot of people loved him, but he lacked the recognition from his fellow peers and the fellow industry, and it didn't align very well with how the general public perceived his films and himself. Everybody loves him and loves his films, or like the majority does. And he just wasn't getting any recognition, whether it's by the Academy or other major award ceremonies. And so it's just good to really see him finally get his due. He's always been consistent as a man, as a person, as a creator. He's always spoken the same. He doesn't, you know, complain that, you know, oh, I should have got that award, or, you know, he loves movies. He makes movies for the art of it. He doesn't make movies for, you know, the big fan base. He doesn't buy into the fame, because I think it's pretty undisputed at this point in time that he is the most famous director right now in terms of name recognition. Not the most beloved or anything, but in terms of the most popular, I think it's him. So, I mean...
Maybe Spielberg is also in that question. I mean,
anyone
knows.
I would not say Spielberg, simply because of the younger generation that has come now. And Nolan's far more relevant towards the younger generation at this point in time, just because he kind of makes banger after banger. Well, Spielberg still does. His films don't cater towards the younger generation. But there's a case to be made for Spielberg. But anyway, yeah, so it's just never aligned in terms of the popularity that he's faced with the general movie-going audience versus his peers. So I'm just glad that this just adds something to him. It shows him that what he is doing is valuable. People do appreciate him and his work that he does. And yeah, I mean, all credit to him, man. Like, he created films that have, you know, been a big part of my life and a big part of my journey and being. So, I mean, I'm happy for him. I guess that's all I can really say. What about you? I think he's your favorite director of all time, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like very close between him and Spielberg, which is why I brought up Spielberg. Like, it's always either interchanging, like it's never like locked, but those two are definitely like locked. If I could give number one equal, it would be number one equal to them too. Yep. But yeah, same boat as you. I mean, he's just had a stellar offer here, you know, best picture, best director among all the technical stuff and acting stuff for his film in Oppenheimer. He also got director of the decade as well, and now he's getting knighted. So it's nice to see that his work is getting recognized by people. I'm not sure if there is a current director out there that has that knight, that Sir title. I can't think of any, because I feel majority of the great directors are all American or people that's not eligible to become a knight. So it's going to be buzzy as to see his next film saying from director Sir Christopher Nolan, you know, in the...
Would it say that? I mean, I hope he puts it on. It'd be cool.
I feel it's his choice at the end of the day. He might just go run with his other name and be absolutely humble about it, which I think he will. Otherwise, he'll just, you know...
Yeah, I don't know who else. I mean, I know Lewis Hamilton is Sir Lewis Hamilton, but I've never heard anyone refer to him as, Sir Lewis Hamilton.
I think it's an age thing, really. I think it's age, you know, like Sir Ben Kingsley, Sir Anthony Hopkins, you know, they're all old, so you just go with that. But like these younger guys, you just like, they've always been like Lewis Hamilton, they've always been Christopher Nolan. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
that. Even in rugby, like Graham Henry, he's Sir Graham Henry, but it's just Graham Henry. It's just that's how
Yeah.
it is. So I think it's really a generational thing. I'm sure the older they get, the next generation will end up calling them Sir. But for us, because we grew up with them in their films, that we're first name basis with them.
Yeah,
So to speak.
yeah.
But yeah, like you said, incredibly happy for him, and what an absolute couple years from him as well.
For sure.
Now, from one amazing director to the next, Francis Ford Coppola's next film, titled Megalopolis, is due to release apparently this year. It could potentially get delayed, but who knows? But we have some more details about it. So the plot is roughly about a destruction of a metropolis, which brings clashing visions for the future. An architect and the mayor debate on whether to rebuild to embrace the future or take a business as usual approach and just rebuild as per normal. It stars Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, hope I said that right, he's a fantastic actor, Shia LaBeouf, Audrey Plaza, Lawrence Fishburne, and Natalie Emmanuel. Yeah, I think I said that right, who knows. So it's a really stacked and talented cast. The film has been screened in front of certain people, we don't know what people, but they have been saying that it's described as crackling with ideas that fuse the past and future with an epic and highly visual fable that plays perfectly on an IMAX screen. Jack Black, he is not starring in the film, but he has come out and said that he was hanging around on set just to watch Francis Ford Coppola work as well. So that's how high of a director people view him as, that you're not quite working for him, but you just want to see him work and direct. And I don't know if Jack Black's eventually going to become a director. He's got some good. Hope he took notes. But besides that last point, James, everything else, what do you think? What do you think of this?
No, we have to address that last point. Jack Black is the last guy that I would imagine just to sit down on set and take notes or just observe it, a master at work kind of thing. I would expect a director who showed promise or something like that. Not Jack Black. I read that and I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't really know what to make of that. Is he going to go into more serious films? Is he going to get into filmmaking? Who knows what he's got up his sleeve?
It's either that or seeing how he speaks to his actors and what tips he can give to him. Maybe he can take those tips on board for his own acting. Maybe that's what he was doing, or maybe he was just wanting to watch a director at work.
But I don't know. All I know is that when Kung Fu Panda 5 comes out, that voice performance is going to be phenomenal. If he's been taking notes, that is. As for the entire thing, it's good to see, actual news come out about this, because, we did this in our most anticipated, and I was very hesitant to include it. One, because I was nearly certain that we weren't going to get it this year, because I've heard about it for so long now, and I just wasn't sure that we were going to get it. But, it seems like we are, based on what they're saying. I have heard, little whispers that it may be delayed, or it may not make the, I think it wanted to debut at Cannes, and it may not make that time frame. Yeah. So if they don't, they'll have to push it to, I think around August, September for the film festival circuit. Probably drop it in November or December officially to the public. I reckon that's how it would go if it doesn't make that Cannes release date. But it's cool to see Francis Ford Coppola actually finally release what he calls his passion project, something he's been working on for a while. And the cast, I think they're all talented, maybe except for Shia LaBeouf, who's done some great stuff. I'm just very inconsistent and a little bit kind of all over the place. He's unpredictable. You don't know if he's going to come in with a good performance or just be silly. So it could go either way.
He has a fantastic director underneath him, so
yeah,
surely that takes a part in his performance.
I actually can't remember the last Francis Ford Coppola movie, so it's really interesting to see how one of his films kind of release and how everyone kind of reacts and reviews his work here, because I think there is something special here. I know Adam Driver spoke very highly of it. I've heard other things that are really positive as well, and the fact that it's been screened the first time that's a really good indication that it is nearly ready and, it's coming. So, the fact that it's, it's a highly visual movie as well, and that plays well to IMAX well. And that's what I really love to hear. That's my biggest takeaway from this point, because that's my favorite kind of genre. It's where you kind of, mix the blockbuster imagery and VFX along with really, really good, storytelling with great thematic depth and good characters. That's my favorite type of movie, because you get a really, really good visual experience, and then you actually kind of get feel it, and, it's something thought-provoking to you as well. So it leaves you with something after the movie. And it sounds like this might be something like that. I don't have complete faith that this is going to be, an absolute masterpiece and, a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it could very easily be not great. It's poor English, but I just don't think it's guaranteed to be really good. So, yeah, man, I know you are far more excited than me about it. I think it's got potential to, say something that's quite important, and I'm cautiously optimistic for it, but it's Francis Ford Coppola, so yeah, I might be a bit naive in that sense to not trust it completely, such as yourself. How do you feel about this news?
Yeah, I'm a little bit more excited now that we actually have plot details as to what's happening rather than just some concept art and a title name. Definitely that plot is definitely one that will impact the future and is a lot more thought-provoking than one might think, such as, rebuilding a city, whether they rebuild it for now or rebuild it for the future. And that's a big debate now, is whether all the infrastructure in the world, whether they should be developing for the future or just make do with now. So I think this film will play a big part in that, and hopefully the message is strong enough. The cast is stacked as well, like you said. Shia LaBeouf put an asterisk over him. But I'm the same as you. I think the thing that really made me more excited is the comments about the visual side and how it needs to be said on or seen on IMAX. I think, just from that concept art alone, it looked like it was going to be a visual spectacle. And if they can get the CGI or whatever right, then I think it'll be similar to like something like Dune or Oppenheimer, where you have to go see it in IMAX and you can't see it in anything else. And I just hope it's backed with a great score as well, because you can just feel movies, especially off this high caliber, so much more as well. So, yeah, hopefully we get a trailer for it soon, and then we can have proper comments on it and what it's going to look like and stuff like that.
Yeah, we just need a release date, man. Like, that will make me much more excited when I know it's actually coming out.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like Time, Lego Movie, something we haven't seen something in a long, long time. The last one was Lego Movie 2, the second part. I think that's what it was titled. Came out.
Was it not Ninjago?
Nah, because Lego Movie 2 came out in 2019. I'm pretty sure Ninjago was 2018, because I was still working at the cinemas when I saw it.
Fair enough, then I'll trust that. Yes, you are right. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So we all know that the Lego franchise was previously owned by Warner Brothers. In early 2019 and 2020, they lost the rights to them. Lego didn't decide to renew their rights, and they went with Universal Studios. Universal Studios and Lego has just come out and said that they're in active development on new Lego movies, and they have a whole range of ideas. This is really funny because on our Sims podcast, we had a conversation about how we're not getting more of these movies, and then 2 weeks later, boom. So clearly Universal watches Let's Be Real, as everyone else should. So obviously, because we discussed that in that podcast, we wanted to see more Lego films and stuff like that. What sort of films do you want to see in this Legoverse, James?
Oof. Oh, I didn't know I was going to be hit with that question. What movies? I don't know if I want to see any movies from the Lego universe. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the film, but Lego Batman as a movie I thought was not the right move. I just don't think making it about franchise characters in Lego form is a smart idea. One, you're going to run fatigue for both the Lego universe and for the character it's based on itself, whether it's, if they do like something like, Lego Harry Potter or Lego Lord of the Rings, I think that's just going to be, you're just milking two things there. That's both Lego and whatever it's based on. So stay away from franchise characters. The first Lego movie, man, is so damn good. I loved the first Lego movie, and I really did think that I was going to hate that movie just because I thought it'd be like one big product placement movie. But it wasn't. It was genuine. It had things to say. It was, thought-provoking. I love the message in that movie, about believing in yourself and, everyone is special. And, even if you're just a normal person, you can just, stand out, I guess. So that one's really good. But the second one wasn't so great. I think if you just tell really good stories with, have a generic Lego concept, you can have the franchise people play a part in it. Just don't make it based on them. Same with, I guess, Lego Ninjago is it's more unique to Lego. If you have Lego space characters who originated from Lego, I think that's your best way is to build this franchise. But if you're just going to do it about Lego Green Lantern or Lego Spider-Man, I'm not interested. That's not where I care to see any of these movies. But I didn't even know that Warner Brothers lost the rights to this because me and you were talking about it a couple weeks ago. It's so weird. They made good money. They were received well. Why have they not made? Why is there no more? Because you feel it's such an easy thing to milk. And I guess we got our answer for that. But yeah, honestly, it doesn't excite me much. But I don't know. Maybe the first Lego movie, I think to me was just a one-hit wonder. I don't know if we can ever recapture that. And yeah, what do you think?
I'm a bit excited for it. I do like the Lego animation in all the films. But I think you're right. I think they can't focus on an already established franchise. And a lot of people be saying, they should do Harry Potter or, superheroes. The decent, they're making a whole new TV show. Why not Lego now?
Don't start, bro. I just finished the series last night. I just watched them all.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I'm reading them all, so we're in a Harry Potter vibe. So yeah, I agree with you in regards to how it can't be on a franchise because it's already established, and what more can you do with that franchise except make them brick? So I think the best way is to come up with something new and create new characters for the Lego, so they can make new actual physical Legos based on these characters. I think that's probably the best way. Whether they take the characters from Lego 1 and 2 and carry it forward, or just have a whole universe of different Lego characters. I prefer a whole universe, because you can get so creative like Lego. You don't have to have it in a metropolis sort of setting. You can have it out in a swamp, or as you mentioned before, out in space. Lego characters in space. Trying to discover new Lego planets and stuff like that. That's so interesting. So there's a lot you can do with Lego. Literally the world is their oyster. It just depends on whether they want to go the franchise route or not. I'm more than happy for them to feature those additional cameos based on franchises. Have Batman or Harry Potter show up for a quick 2-second, 5-second little thing, and then just fuck off again.
Yeah.
So I think once we get a bit more ideas or what they're thinking from Universal, I think we can have a proper sort of judgment, but fingers crossed to stay away from those franchises, eh?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the key thing that works so well with the Lego movie, and the first one particularly, and why it was so good, is Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. They're behind those Spider-Verse movies they did, Mitchell vs. the Machines, Game Night. They're very, very good at blending humor and, not reinventing per se, but making it really creative. You remember Game Night, where it had shots where it looked like a board game at times, and then what they did with the Spider-Verse is something that doesn't need to be said. But Lego Movie, it looked great visually as well. I think you really need those writers and directors back. I mean, I don't think it would have worked without them. So I really hope they are involved with whatever's next for this Lego universe.
Yeah, I'd also really like Lego genres. So they're not all catered towards kids. I know that at the end of the day, kids are the main sort of
Lego
factor,
horror.
Yeah, Lego horror, Lego action, Lego romance. It's just spice things up a bit with the visual, creative feel. like never been done before, and it could be a huge hit amongst adults because let's be real, majority of the adults buy those expensive Legos and builds them. So
That's very true. Yeah, I actually know a few adults that do that. But one question for you before we move on: R-rated Lego movie, is it even possible? Without swearing, you can't even make that like R-rated.
is it possible? I don't think so. Because what are they gonna do? Like have like little red, those circular Lego blocks. Whenever someone gets sliced up, it's just those going past. Like
Yeah. Or they could do something like Sausage Party. You remember that movie? Well, Name wants to switch. Name wants genres of Lego movie, guys. So this is his idea. I'm just branching off from what he was saying.
So next step is Lego porn.
No, I'm moving on now. No.
There we go.
I gotta censor that word out.
Next segment is a new game. It's called What's the Plot? So pretty much I have some films here in front of me that are Easter themed, that features rabbit or chocolate. I'll read out the plot and a few details about the film, and James has to guess what the films are. If he's really, really stumped, then he has 2 hints. So I can, for those 2 hints, I can reveal a bit more detail so he can get his brain jogging along. So hopefully you guys like this Easter bunny treat. So we'll jump straight into it. So the first film is based on the Easter bunny's son as he heads to Hollywood, determined to become a drummer in a rock and roll band.
Hop.
Oh, fuck.
It's the only Easter movie I know.
All right. Well, that was really...
I spoke about that movie with my girlfriend like yesterday, so yeah, you lucked out there, mate. Sorry.
Unfortunately for me, Easter films are very hard to come by. It's either
they
bunnies
are.
or Jesus. There's nothing.
That's where the conversation originated. Yeah, they're so hard. Like
yeah.
That's the only one I could name.
Yeah, so that's why I added the rabbits into it, because I know that there's a lot of films with rabbits, so it broadens my thing a little bit more. All right, film number 2. We have a rabbit that sneaks into a farmer's vegetable garden.
Peter Rabbit.
Dude's on fire, bro. I only have 4 of these, and he's already...
That's another movie I know that owns a rabbit. But I think I'm out of guesses for the next 2, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, now this one I need to word decently without giving it away. So, let's see. So, 2 unlikely counterparts team together as they work to uncover a conspiracy within the city they live in.
Zootopia.
Yes.
Oh, no way.
All right. This one I have to word even more because the plot I'm looking at is so generic that if I even just say one word, he's going to get it.
I'm on fire.
He's going to get it straight away, I can tell. How to do this. People visit a magician's company and goes on a tour.
Ooh. People.
Mm-hmm.
People visit a magician's company and goes on to The Greatest Showman.
No, it's not Easter themed.
Yeah.
Or chocolate themed.
Chocolate themed. I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a hint, man. I lost my streak.
A hint. It involves an unwealthy boy.
Unwealthy boy. I mean, I don't think a child in a chocolate factory. A circus.
I didn't say circus.
What did you say?
I said people visit a magician's...
Oh, a magician. Is Willy Wonka a magician?
Yeah.
So Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Or is it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Yeah.
It's Willy Wonka, yeah.
Is he a magician?
With chocolate. He's a magician with chocolate.
Oh, are you trying to... Oh, you're trying to make up a word for him.
Yeah. Because I was like, I could say he's a wizard. And I was like, with chocolate. Or I could be like, he's a magician with chocolate. I was like, if I say with chocolate, he's going to get it straight away. So I just cut that out.
Yeah. A magician. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what's the plot. I was expecting it to go on a bit longer, but
well, you had like 10 movies to choose from, man. Like, I'm sorry, I couldn't. Yeah.
Maybe I'd not make it Halloween. I think there's a lot for Halloween that I could do.
Oh, there's too much. Yeah.
But I think if any podcasters that are listening to this want to make a game about Easter movies, don't. It is difficult. It is difficult.
Yep.
Did you enjoy that segment, even though you like bliss through it at a lightning pace?
I would like it a lot more if it was just totally random and open. Easter themed, it makes it hard and condense it down to a very small sample of films. But if we were to, branch it out, I guess into like comedy movies or not like superhero movies. I don't want to do superhero movies, but like just other ones where there's like a far bigger sample of films. I would find that good. It's very similar to Framed.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I like the spin on it where it's the plot rather than just some random fact.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll keep that an idea for next time. And as for you guys watching at home, head down the bottom and let us know in the comment section whether you liked it or not, and what's the plot ideas you could do, or what other Lego ideas you think Universal should do. And while you're there, scroll a tad bit up and hit that subscribe and like button. You do us a big favor, and we will really appreciate it. And if you subscribe to our channel, you can see all of our other podcasts and what else we get up to as well. So thanks everyone for tuning in today in our little Easter podcast and April Fools. We did not get you. We're not one of those people, even though I was pushing hard for it. But it's fine. We will catch you on our next episode. One Movie Gains. Catch you later.
peace.